the last grades of the season. All right, this is Boy Green and I's last time being professors, handing out the report cards, and we are talking about the coaches. That's a word that we heard a lot during this era. Coaching. I'm a coach. I'm a coach. So it's time to give out some grades to those coaches. We are live. It is Boy Green meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a jet chant here? Yeah, going.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go!
J-E-T-S, jet, let's go! J-E-T-S, jet, let's go! There you go, Woody!
Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Jake Asman, come on down. How you doing, good sir?
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Woody, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words, son.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there, baby.
Boy Green
Meets Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy James Wudi, and you already know we are Wudi, rocking everywhere. Right here, we got the boy who became king, Mr. None Other than Mr. Paul Esden Jr. How you doing, my good sir?
You know, I was watching our intro video there. It's a very nice video package all put together. And at the end, when it's Boy Green meets Wudi, and there's that dap slap right before we're talking to the camera, and then we look at each other. And then if you look, like you almost pause your mind and look past us and look at the video boards, it says a Jets win. So we didn't get many of those last season, but we did get one when we met for the very first time. So a special, spark was created there that flame remains lit to this day. So it's a beautiful day. I sort of think of fonder times ahead, and that's a good place to remember it.
At that time, I was on cloud nine, just smacked the Patriots. The Patriots were terrible. We were, Super Bowl bound. And, little did I know that 2 weeks later, my whole world would be crashing down. Woody would fire my guy, Robert Saleh, and look at him bouncing back. He is the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Happier for him. Don't really love the roster like that too much, but, he had some players, and I would imagine, he'll have more freedom than he had in New York. So absolutely wishing him the best.
Hey, by the way, folks, I don't want to speak for Woody, but I don't know if people have requested this. I'm not sure if I'm ready for it. I think I want a few more under my belt before I feel comfortable doing this. But the Jets do take the road this season to Tennessee to play the Titans. So there will be a Robert Saleh revenge game. I'm not sure if I'm ready for our tailgate to hit the road yet. I want it to be a well-oiled machine before we potentially consider those waters. So I would be surprised if our tailgate hits the road and covers a road game, but maybe in the future. But we will have a home game this season. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to circle that one. We had a revenge game this season, week one. We do our Jet schedule prediction show in a couple of months. So maybe week one on the road, kick it off against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee against Robert Saleh. Perhaps that could be in the cards.
Yeah, that's an L. He about to get that revenge. And he deserves it, just like Rodgers deserved it. And Sam Darnold deserved it multiple times over. And they've gotten it.
Hey, we got the revenge against Joe Flacco in Cincinnati week 8. So we'll always have that, baby.
I'm pretty sure he's beaten us too. I don't know if that's revenge or just two bottom of the barrel entities just trading wins and losses.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Fair enough. Well, that's actually a really nice way to look at these grades.
Sure.
Right? We might have different opinions on different people.
Mhm.
For this episode, for those of you who don't know, we are looking at the the head coach and the coordinators,
Mhm.
right? And then also the GM, Mr. Darren Muji. All right. Of course, there are a whole lot of more coaches, like 15 of them, but we only got a certain amount of time on this show, so we are looking specifically head coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, and Mr. Darren Muji, the GM,
Mhm.
for this episode. And I guess, Boy Green, if you want to start us off, you know what? It'll be fun. Start us off at DC.
Which one? Yeah.
Good.
I mean, obviously, Steve Wilkes has to be an F. F for fired because that's what happened with 3 weeks left to go. Yeah. Again, I think there's a full fledged conversation here, and because we're not doing every single positional coach, we've got like 25 guys to talk about. We can dive in here on these respective conversations of offense, defense, special teams, and then sort of head coach, and then the overall picture, obviously, of GM. I didn't mind the hire when AG made it. Sure. Did Steve Wilkes have 5 previous one and dones and then the Jets ended up being a 6? Yes. So there were red flags. He wasn't a perfect candidate, but I understood where AG was coming from. To get a guy that had been a head coach, he had never been a head coach before. He has no idea what that looks like. He was close to Dan Campbell, but Dan Campbell's making the decisions, not him. So no matter what, even though Dan Campbell a few times let AG run a practice as a head coach and give him experience, that's super cool that Dan Campbell did that. It's just not the same when you're in the chair and you're in the seat. So that made a lot of sense. Let me add someone to my staff that has head coach experience and I can bounce things off of for the obvious situations, game management, this, that, or the other, but all the other stuff that none of us even know. What are all the logistics of being sort of the quote unquote face of the franchise and all that entails behind the scenes that we have no idea about, that you're balancing on top of, oh yeah, there's X's and O's on Sundays. So that made sense to me. Steve Wilkes had done it before. So that made sense to me, even though I thought, in terms of roster construction, offensive coordinator was the guy that you'd go more experience and take a young guy under AG's wing. That's where I thought he was going to go. He didn't. That's a long way of short of saying Steve Wilkes is terrible. There are very few fleeting performances, and unfortunately, they did not come in our attendance. Week 6 and week 7 were post Cowboys, which is the game we went to, and that's where the Jets defense held their opponents back-to-back games of 13 points, where you're like, hey, maybe Wilkes found something here. Jermaine Johnson also returned. Coincidence where that immediate surge came from? Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, so there was just too many few fleeting moments for Wilkes that weren't enough to save it from an F for fired. And again, with Chris Harris, with all due respect, who's among the candidates for this DC job full time, it's hard to even judge him on those final 3 games because he couldn't change scheme. He couldn't really change players or personnel. You're sort of effed to what you have, plus all the injuries that occurred. So he was screwed there. So Chris Harris can be in the F with Steve Wilkes, but I'm much harsher on Wilkes than I am on Chris Harris.
As you should. That would be crazy to put Harris right up there.
People are destroying him though, real quick. Like Chris Harris. So Chris Harris was named one of the 8 DCs one of the 8 people they spoke to about
candidates.
DC. Yeah, candidates. And people in the comments are like, "Fuck Chris Harris, man. He sucked even worse than Wilkes." And I'm like, "Whoa, guys!
No.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? Was he just going to arrive and all of a sudden they hold teams to 6 points? Like again." The hay was in the barn. So that's the only reason why I said, just to add that extra piece, because I saw the social media heat and I didn't understand it. Because what did you expect him to do? I don't know. I didn't expect much.
The first half of that Saints game was electric. The first play was a fumble, one of the few turnovers we were able to force the whole season. Really had me, thinking that we were about to see something special. And then, of course, we didn't. So, I would have to, this is probably, and this is why I just wanted to start with this one. We probably like I think we're in lockstep, in terms of at the time of the hiring, we thought it was a good hire. Oh yeah, experienced head coach, for the first time head coach, and then it just turned out to be a terrible situation. There were the warning signs, the one and dones, and I was aware of those, but I don't know. I guess were we delusional trying to I don't know, but yeah. So this is a clear F. Chris Harris. I would not give him an F. I mean, I guess maybe I don't know. I mean, he's not even on my rubric right now, but yeah, I don't have ill will towards him. And I saw somebody in here ask about Jim or Wink as DC.
Which, by the way, where do they ask that question, Woody?
Was that Take Flight Talk? Oh, look at that! Hey,
oh, was it? Oh,
hey, yes, appreciate it. Yeah, YouTube.com/Take Flight Talk. Adirondack Fly Guy just came over.
Oh, nice.
So I appreciate you. Yeah, definitely join the discussion, like the video over there as well. We got kids to feed. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. But
see that question, sure. Back to Craig Mechanics. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me personally, I would be pretty happy with either one. I think Jim, is a higher ceiling type guy. But Wink has a pretty high floor. Like, I mean, he was
quick question. I assume he's talking about Leonard, but he's not. But we also have Jim O'Neill, who is on that list.
There's literally no way he's talking about Jim O'Neill. Come on now.
It could be. That's another Jim. That's another Jim.
Okay.
He could scream, O'Neill. It was O'Neill.
Yeah, I'm looking to see.
Yeah. I guess Leonard or Wink. Okay, go ahead.
But yeah. So I feel good about those. And then if I had to throw a third one in there, it would be I forget his name. But dude from the Vikings, just because I have
Jones.
Infinite respect for Brian Flores. But that doesn't even mean that this guy's any good. It's just, out of respect for Brian Flores, I would be okay with that. But those are my two top picks, Jim and Wink.
And you said who would your preference of the two be?
My preference?
Yeah. Better DC, Jim or Wink?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Damn, I guess I misread the question.
Right? Do you need my glasses or?
I think I got some. Do I got them?
Oh, you got a prop? Oh, good.
Yeah. You know me. I got the props on deck. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, can you hand them over again?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Well, now I can't see. I can't see. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. All right. So better DC Jim or like I said, I felt like Jim, has a higher ceiling, right? Younger, really tapped into the game, but Wink, he's been doing this a long time. So I would consider him the safer choice, right? The high floor. But if you're AG and I don't even know if the seat's warm, but you're trying to win games, I would probably go with Jim, and say, okay, we got to go big because we can't go home. So I would probably choose Jim.
Yeah, answering the same question, I feel a lot of the same way as Woody, which normally makes me sick, but in this particular case, Wink's a safer guy. Wink has done it at the NFL level. Jim Leonard has never done that. Jim Leonard has called plays before, so that concept is foreign to him. He did it for 6 or 7 seasons at Wisconsin, so he has done it, and he's been a part of a lot of bright minds. But so I'm curious, the path for AG, does he play it safe and just get a guy that he feels good with? He did try that with Wilkes and it failed. That doesn't mean he was wrong with the experience path, but that is the path that he chose. So does he go for upside and say, you know what? if he does have the choice, right? If both of these guys say, I would take the job, and now he's like, where do I go? If he's lucky enough to have that reality, I think you swing for the fences, because if I'm AG, am I Saleh? Do I get another head coaching gig if this flops? I don't know. Saleh's lucky that he's getting a second one. Not everyone does. So if I'm AG, I don't want to, in 20 years from now, I don't want to ever say like, damn, I should have done this. I should have done this. I'm putting it all out on the table. If I die on the sword, so be it. I would swing for Jim Leonard as well, if given the choice.
Very fair, very fair. And we'll see. We'll see if I'm glad it's Saleh. So far Saleh has showed us more, which is why he he was getting interviews last year and this year. So we'll see.
Hey, quick question real quick on Chris Harris, because I see there's a little bit of chatter about Chris Harris in the comment section. If he's the guy, because Albert Breer just came out this week, NFL insider for Sports Illustrated, and he says that Chris Harris is highly regarded around the league, and he had just completed his in-person interview, which that one doesn't surprise me, that he was one of, so there's an initial 8, and he was one of the 8 that also got an in-person interview. That makes sense. He was on the team already. That feels like, at a bare minimum, a respect thing, as opposed to anything. So that the fact that he is apparently, if you want to perceive it this way, one of the finalists when you get the in-person interviews, he's made it to the next level. That doesn't surprise me. But what would your reaction be if he ends up getting the full-time job?
It would be interesting. It definitely. Okay. Yeah. I mean, because we're talking about these guys, these other guys, and I think especially my top 2, Jim and Wink, are probably definitely more qualified. But if AG has his faith in, Chris Harris, then we have no choice but to also put our faith in him as well.
It's a good point. By the way, Sharon on the Take Flight Talk channel says Leonard was a head coach of Wisconsin. Yeah, interim. So once he was defensive coordinator forever, and then once they had a firing and a change, he did step in as interim. So he does have that experience, and I think it says something to him. His experience at the NFL level from a coaching perspective is short. Again, he was in the league for a decade, so he has a lot of playing experience. But that he was immediately sort of named an assistant head coach, like that's a prominent title and pay raise. Good for old Jimmy over there from Sean Payton. Very nice. But also that has to say something. I imagine Sean Payton doesn't give that out willy-nilly. So that also must talk about the respect, obviously, that Payton has and thus that Leonard has commanded as well. So, okay, just want to work a little Chris Harris there. Go ahead, Woody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll go from one that we agreed, to one that would probably disagree. And I'll start it off. We'll talk about the OC. Mr. Tanner Engstrom. But I don't know. Who knows? You might be biased because you met him in person. So
that is true. That did happen. That absolutely did happen. I did meet the Jolly Green Giant in person. That is a situation that absolutely occurred, Woody. It did. I have the photo evidence right here. I mean, it happened. Look at that.
There it is.
By the way, let me dunk on myself here. So this is so I share this every once in a while out on social media. Here's the comment that is most common under this. Do you want to take a guess what the comment that is most common under this post every time on social media?
Well, it's almost always like about your height, or lack of.
Thank you for that. That's true. That is part of it. But they said, "Wow, how did God make his body that of a gnome?" So that's the most common. Damn. The beard and the portly nature there, where I'm sort of closer to the Earth's surface. That's the most common one I get. They're like, "Wow, he has the the WWE wrestler creator bod of a gnome." So I get that one all the time. So Woody, would you say that's accurate?
No, that's fucked up.
Okay, right. Well, that doesn't mean it's not true, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Yep.
Nah.
Kept saying, "Paul, are you on your knees?" Pause. No. Nope. I know it's hard to see with that duffel bag I'm carrying, but no, those are my short God-given legs. Yep, that's true. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah. But my grade
sure
for Tanner.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a C.
Okay.
And I know the offense definitely did not perform at a C.
Mhm.
And I don't have my players list in front of me, but I'm pretty sure we, ratted, weren't as generous with the players. But the two things about Tanner that I liked and feel good about moving forward, one is, the scheme that we were actually running. Like, guys, were consistently open, right? Obviously, a run heavy offense is going to be, play action, right? And guys are going to be open down the field. Garrett Wilson, it looked like he was about to have his best season of his career because of these down the field throws. And then looking at AD Mitchell kind of fill that role. The one game we were actually running the football well, or actually two games. The Patriots game, we ran the football well, the first one, and then the Falcons. Both of those games, we ran the football well, and AD was open both of those games. But, of course, he had like 5 drops against the Patriots. And then against the Falcons, he had his career high game. So I like the scheme. I think we're in the right scheme. The offensive line is going to continue to grow together. Hopefully they re-sign Brees. If they don't re-sign Brees, remember the name I kept talking about was Kenneth Walker. Now, I mean, he's out here driving up his price. I don't know if you saw that game he just had against San Fran. Yeah, I like that. And specifically the play calling. Like, I feel like a lot of you, a lot of people criticized him. We running it 3rd and 6, with Isaiah Davis. But he was converting those. But he literally, was converting those. And was that, Fields was so scared to throw. Like, even week 1, like if you look at the week 1 game, and I feel like so many people get confused. They're like, yo, like, what happened week 1? Like, what was the difference between week 1 and, like, pretty much the rest of the season Fields? Well, Tanner, that game, the first 6 plays were all running plays, right? And they, got 2 first downs out of it. And they just made it so that Fields didn't have to throw, so much, so often. And I think that was the sweet spot that they were trying to be in every game, but unfortunately the run game wasn't as efficient. Like, and if the run game wasn't efficient, the whole offense kind of fell apart. So hopefully with a better quarterback, that won't be the case. But I like the scheme, and I like how with his play calling he was protecting the quarterback's inefficiencies. So I think he can be a key piece moving forward in the AG regime.
The quick nugget on your Kenneth Walker thing, unfortunately, Zach Charbonnet suffered a very serious injury. He's going to be out for obviously the rest of this season, which is a couple weeks, the Seahawks are hoping, and could be out for much of next year. Kenneth Walker is a free agent to be, so I'm curious how that affects their plans, unfortunately. So terrible news for Charbonnet. I had Charbonnet and Walker on my fantasy team and still lost the fantasy championship. That's either here nor there, I suppose. But anywho, I got a double C for Tanner Engstrand. And I'm going to use some interpretation here. So when Aaron Glenn hired Tanner Engstrand, I gave it a C for concerning. I'm like, who the hell is Tanner Engstrand? And I told you guys when AG was hired, I said, he's going to hire a veteran offensive guy because AG is a defensive guy, even though he hates that title. That guy's going to handle the offense. He'll get a young defensive coordinator that he can mold and help influence and help with game planning and say, don't worry, young buck, I'm here. I'm AG. And they did. They did the opposite. We're veteran defensive guy and then inexperienced offense guy. So C for concerning, I'm like, oh boy, this Tanner Engstrand guy, I'm not so sure. And then I give it a C now that the season's played out because it's C for complicated. The quarterback play freaking stunk. So part of that is, shouldn't your coordinator be able to maximize the talents of the players there? And that Justin Fields looked the worst that he ever had. Is that on Tanner? Is that on Justin just imploding and not being very good? So it's complicated for Tanner Rankster. And that's where my C comes from for him. Brees Hall gets his first 1,000 yards rushing. Blessed be he. You made the point earlier, Woody. Garrett Wilson was on pace for a career best season in catches, yards, and touchdowns before he got hurt. So he was looking great. And so there was a lot to like there. But some of it, and this is where we get into the debate and conversations here as we're grading this, with the ingredients he had in the kitchen to cook. It's not his fault it was Garrett Wilson and a bunch of scrubs at wide receiver. And Tanner had to cook with the ingredients that were left there in the kitchen. And I thought he tried to do the best he can. And again, all the film experts, and that's not me, I don't pretend to be a film junkie, they say you pause the tape. Connor Hughes mentions this all the time. He says he learned how to study tape from guys like Saleh and some of these other NFL coaches he's covered. He says you pause the tape and give it a gander. Whoa, open. So is that on him or the quarterback? So, again, it's C for complicated because it's hard to know what would happen. Now it's easy for us to project. Oh, guys were open, better quarterback, bing, boom, bam. The C grade could be for cooking because that's what he could be doing with these pieces. So I'm at C for complicated. There were flashes that I liked for Tanner. There's some razzle dazzle. I love that there was some trickeration. We go to that week 8 game and having that play in the playbook and the Brees Hall halfback toss, pump fake toss. Mason Taylor's only touchdown. This is a good trivia question. Oh, who threw Mason Taylor's only touchdown reception of the season? Brees Hall is the answer to that question. The SS Minnow is what we're looking for there. I like the creativity from him, but again, it's sort of hard to evaluate the picture. So, gonna give that a big fat C, Woody.
All right. Well, damn. I guess I thought we were gonna disagree.
See, we're best friends forever. Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. I mean, I think we were before that. I think we were before.
Okay, good. Because
Yes,
there was sort of a delay in your answer, which made me feel a little questionable. And then you gave that great answer. We were already friends. F for friends. Yeah.
Best.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Great.
Do you have a preference? Which one you want? There's a special teams. I guess we, let's get the coordinators out of the way.
Sure.
So we'll go special teams.
Yeah.
Chris Banjo.
Yes, sir.
I gave him a B plus. I was a B plus. Obviously, special teams was fantastic. I want to say they say it's like the 4th greatest of all time.
DVOA.
It is a travesty. It actually is a travesty. Whatever other word you want to use, that none of those guys are recognized for. Like as an all-pro or pro bowler, for their contributions to the sport. The only thing that I'll say, because that might seem low when you accomplish a goal so high, is that, he had, some solid pieces. Like he had, like we talk about ingredients in the kitchen, and how, it's tough to evaluate Tanner and all that type of stuff. I mean, Kene and Wangwu, my man, he been doing this. Nick Folk, has been leading the league in accuracy, the last couple of years before he even came here. So, I think he was given an extremely good unit. Obviously, Isaiah Williams, if that's one where, he came, he was gone, came back, was fantastic. But I would say for the most part, he had a lot of great pieces that he was able to just, keep together.
The only greater level of disrespect this season for the special teamers to not have any pro bowlers, no first teamers, no second team all pros, is Wudi not giving Banjo an A. I don't know what more this man could have done. You say, well, he sort of maximized the ingredients. Isn't that the definition of a coach, man? That he had great pieces and he put a great product out there. He got the most juice out of the orange. When he's in the kitchen, right? Other people doing ingredients. He has an orange. He got the most juice. He used that juicer. We got a full glass of OJ from what Chris Banjo brought to the table. How dare you, sir? Obviously, it's an A friggin' plus. What more could this man have done? Chef's kiss. It was perfect. It was a dive off the top, the top dive board, and then they go to the judges, and I throw up a 10. 10. It's perfect. Exceptional. And, man, just every level of it. You talk about the ingredients being pretty good. Like, Nick Folk was on his couch. And then the first week of training camp, hey, old man, you think you still got it? Boom. And again, Nick Folk, to your credit, to sort of what you're indicating, he was the field goal leader percentage-wise the last 2 years before being on the couch. But the fact of the matter is it didn't seem like he had a job lined up before the Jets came calling. So Nick Folk has a terrific season. Austin McNamara, what a find. And again, this falls because we're not doing positional coaches to this level. Chris O'Day, who is on that staff with Banjo, he's the one who went out to the workout out in Arizona to evaluate these 50 random punters. And he went, who the hell is Austin McNamara? And then he says, hey, Austin, I got a private jet. You ready? Grab your bags. Let's go. Flew back to the Jets facilities, private workout. The Jets went, let's sign right now on the dotted line. Bing, boom, bam. So Chris O'Day deserves a lot of credit for the Austin McNamara find, who looks spectacular. And he just had the best net average punting season in Jets franchise history. So he's great. But the punter was exceptional. The place kicker was exceptional. Our returners were exceptional. Kene Nguanu returned touchdown. He is a former first-team All-Pro. Isaiah Williams, though, was just some guy. He was just on a Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. Who knows if he ever gets a call-up from Cincinnati and the Jets save him from that and bring him over. So, and then the gunners, man, Quantas Stiggers was special this year as a gunner. He was phenomenal. And all of us were going, Irv Charles. That dude didn't play a friggin' snap this year, unbelievably. Hopefully he heals okay. So, wow. Yeah, I just thought they did a marvelous job. I'm so wowed by Chris Banjo. Again, I gave it, before when they hired Chris Banjo, I was like, who? Like, I knew of him because of Westy and Westoff. I knew of Banjo, but only barely. B for barely. That's all I knew him from. So yeah, he was what a find, what a home run. Again, I don't know how he doesn't get an A+. He was just fantastic. I'm just so happy for the present and the future.
Nice.
So that's a fair point. Look at this, Bosco coming in to protect Wudi. Good. We need more people doing that. She says, BG, he could have not allowed Xavier Gipson on his special team shoot in the first place. Touche, boss girl. Keeping it a buck. Right? Keeping accountability as a big piece of this, because we need to do that for these coaches. Touche. Xavier Gipson had the key fumble in the second half against the Steelers, which resulted in a touchdown. Steelers beat the Jets without that. The Steelers don't beat the Jets, so touche. So, okay, go from an A++ to A+. Yeah.
Do you know who just won the game for the Rams versus the Bears just this past weekend?
Who won the game? Oh, yeah. The thicker kicker, baby. Harrison Mevis, former Jet legend.
Maybe he should have been a Jet. He was on the squad. This is somebody who we know would want to be on the team or would be on the team for, you can sign him 3 years, 4 years. Whereas, our guy, Nick, that's a year to year, oh, do I feel like playing? Oh, so, like I said, I don't think it was perfect, but he definitely did a good job. That's clearly, the highest grade of the coaches. And he deserves it. He had a great year. Well, actually, I don't even know. Let me pass it over to you for head coach. Because I don't know, you might have given this dude an A+. So let's hear what you get to say.
Well, first off, real quick on Mevis, that's an interesting forethought, right? Nick Folk, sure, you sign him and he ends up being spectacular, but obviously he's closer to the end than the beginning. Harrison Mevis is a second-year kicker, so you'd think in theory he's got all this runway. But while that makes sense in theory, and he just kicked a game winner to take them to the next round of the playoffs, it's the NFC Championship game. We'll see what happens there. Mevis has no one to blame but himself for not performing well enough in training camp that they even had to make the Nick Folk call. He was playing against Caden Davis, an undrafted free agent. The UFL insider that gave me all the details. I'm like, who the hell is a thicker kicker? And he gave me all the details. The job is his. All he has to do is not fuck it up. And unfortunately he did. So it's too bad. I did see, to break the fourth wall here, Wudi, this show is streaming live, and I want us to give a shout out to all our different platforms, Instagram and the Facebook and my YouTube, your YouTube, Twitter. We've got a couple hundred people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video here on YouTube. On Twitter, every once in a while the live stream is going on Twitter, you quote tweet it with a comment. And let me make sure I have this, Wudi, because I want to make sure I read it appropriately here. You quote tweeted our live stream here and says, spoiler alert, Aaron Glenn didn't get an A, and my first thought is, oh, did he get an A+? And you just hinted that maybe I could go in that direction. No, I won't. As tempting as that is, I won't. I'm going to punt on that, which the Jets did a lot this season. Thank you, Austin McNamara. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with what do I have written here? I'm going to go with a D. I'm going to go with a D for Aaron Glenn. And you're on mute, so go ahead.
No, I just said wow. Wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wow with a W. Yeah, I'm going to give him a D here, and here's why. 3-14 is one of the worst seasons the Jets have ever had in their history, and he manned that season. But if you look at the whole picture for AG and being the head coach and time management and the players playing for him and things of that nature, you look at that very pivotal game in week 8, where after trading away your guys and then the Justin Fields drama and Woody Johnson calls him out, it would have been very easy for this team to pack it in. But they fought for AG. They won 3 of 5, and they showed some life and showed some chutzpah. And then, of course, the AG dance moves in week 3. How could we ever forget that against Tampa Bay? You know what? For the full picture of AG and some of that learning that he did from some of the mistakes he made earlier in the season, then bouncing back with making good management decisions at the ends of those games and some of those wins, to me, not quite an F, because there were redeeming moments. He didn't go 0-17. He didn't F up every single thing that happened, which again, Wilkes got fired. Aaron Glenn did not. Some people think he deserves it. Other people don't. D isn't great. I'm not coming home to mama and slapping that report card on the fridge for a D. But I think that's what Aaron Glenn deserves. So I try to give the coaches what they deserve based on the results.
Yeah, it was an F.
Wow.
Aaron Glenn. Yeah, of course. Come on now. Like you said, one of the worst seasons in the history of the National Football League.
Sure.
So many records broken this year that you don't want to be broken. That worst December, that interceptionless season. It never even happened for 14 games. And, they extended it for the full season. Who knows how long it's going to take him next season? This is an ongoing streak. I don't think there is anything redeemable, and that's, I hear so much about Dan Campbell, and this is nothing at all like Dan Campbell, because they were building something, and then in December you started to see it, come together. Like what they were doing in August was finally starting to work a little bit in December. But for AG, what they were doing in August actually doesn't matter anymore, because now it's a new QB, it's a new DC, right? What did they build? They didn't build anything. This was a lost season, where really what they did was just get rid of great players for assets. But you can't take this season and say, oh wow, well, this part of the team is going to carry the momentum from December to do this. And that's a big part of all those times you want to compare Aaron Glenn to coaches that have lost before. Like they actually do have a process and have gone, are going through the process, and boom, they come out the other side. Aaron Glenn has changed up his process. He don't know what he's doing. So it was a lost year. One of the worst, like I'm not even talking about just history, in NFL history. And this was somebody who said, we're here to win games now. Somebody who thought that they could coach up Justin Fields, and then proceeded to give Fields his worst season yet. Somebody who thought he could coach up Will McDonald. Will was still the same old Will. He said a lot of things. A
lot of dumb things. Yeah.
Now he's backtracking. So I think it is an F. I don't think there's anything redeemable about it, and that's why so many people, especially in like the deepest coaching pool in like the history of the NFL right now, all these coaches available, why people are talking about getting rid of him. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say it was worst case scenario. So that's why I'm going with F.
That is your God-given right, Woody.
Yes. So I guess that leaves Darren Muji.
Yes, it does.
And this is I guess this is gonna surprise you. I'm gonna give Darren Muji an A-. A-.
Wow. Okay. Oh my. All right.
Yeah. Because
yeah, sure. Please hydrate up. Yeah.
This is a dude who, like, I feel like he can do it all. He makes the big blockbuster trades. He makes a small, the small, meaningful trades. Is not afraid to, sign the big bucks, but also, can try to get bargain deals. Now, the choices, that's more, like you said, like AG is out here, unfortunately clouding his judgment with some of these, horrific choices. But the point is how he's able to get them, right? And how he's able to get the return. That, I did not think that Sauce return was possible. But for Muji to get that, stand on business, he has my respect there. And I just feel like he has shown in a very short period of time that every aspect of his job, he is willing and more than, more ready to do than Joe Douglas, ever was during, his time. Joe always, last in line, going to the bargain bin. Like Darren Muji, he is ready to act. He's ready to do whatever needs to be done, and he has my respect.
Well, you talk about potential disagreements on the show. I thought I was going to be a little high on Muji with my grade. He said, "Hold my beer, buddy. Hold my Pilsner Light." Oh, righty. Wow. I was in the B-C+ range for Muji, and it was with optimism in my heart. So let's walk through it, I guess. I like that Muji, again, we credited this in other parts of previous shows before, but an ability to admit mistakes, of going down a road and saying, all right, this is how we're going to solve said position, and being able to pivot. Defensive tackle comes to mind after signing Jay Tufeles, Byron Cowards, Derek Noddies. And then he's in training camp and he goes, oh boy, there's no fucking way this is going to be my defensive tackle group. I got to make some moves. And he goes to work. Juwan Briggs. Now you got this young player, dirt cheap. He'll be on the veteran minimum for next season. Terrific. Harrison Phillips, $7.5 million non-guaranteed salary. I hope they keep him or do a mini extension. So that was very nice. We talk about kicker again, not being satisfied with the young guys they decided to go down. That, of course, deserves some love. The trades, of course, obviously Sauce Quinton getting immense value and putting the Jets in a position that they're in a hole, but they're able to potentially dig themselves out of the hole based on the assets. But the problem is that he just swung and missed at a lot of positions now. I want to say in the same breath that, Rome is not built in a day. So not every position can be solved in a single offseason. But what he did at wide receiver outside of Garrett Wilson is borderline criminal. Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, the Arian Smith pick. So where does he get the fall in drafting? And when you are off consensus, and consensus big board said that Arian Smith was a 7th round pick, and you take him in the 4th round, and you are that off consensus, you better be right to flex your muscles. See, I like Puka Nacua, 5th round pick. They say we knew more than anyone else what this guy could be, and I'm sure they didn't know that he was going to be the Triple Crown winner at one point. But they said we've got a good feeling about this guy, and they were off consensus, and then they nailed it. So the Jets were not on consensus. And it appears to be a swing and a miss or a solid gunner, which is not normally what you aim to draft in the 4th round. So positionally, where the defensive end is another one that I look at and go, Moochie, what the hell is going on, man? So wide receiver beyond Garrett Wilson, what the hell are they doing? Defensive end, the way that they handled this offseason made it seem like they said it without saying it, that Jermaine Johnson is going to be fully ready to go from week 1. And they did play him in week 1, 89% of the snaps. So they obviously said it indirectly and said it directly based on his snap count. Oh, he's going to be fine. And obviously he wasn't. Jermaine hurt himself, re-aggravated the injury in some way and missed a bunch of time. And then defensive ends was a mess all season. So the questions at defensive end and how he handled that position, I hated. How he handled wide receiver, I hated. And again, on some of them, if they swing and miss, you have to blame AG, right? For like Andre Cisco, 1-year flyer, Cisco doesn't mesh with whatever AG's doing. Is that Muji's fault for taking it or the coaches for not maximizing it? So we can sort of go give or take there. And then obviously a bad mark of the resume has to be Justin Fields' contract. You give him $30 million guaranteed. And that $10 million guaranteed built into 2026, it sounds like they're going to have to light that money on fire. And they have a lot of money. That doesn't mean they didn't light the $10 million on fire. They're clearly, it sounds like, going to do here in a matter of weeks. So, yeah, I've got a lot of questions about some of the decision-making from Muji, but I am highly encouraged. So, again, I thought I was going to have a very optimistic C plus B minus here, but, well, apparently we perceive it slightly differently, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there are a few positions that they didn't appropriately address, and I love AD Mitchell more than most. I haven't met somebody who loves him more than me, but I also still haven't met his mother yet, so we'll see.
Oh, okay.
That dude, I really think can be something in this league. Obviously, John Mechie. Also stepped up pretty, quickly, pretty, early in his Jets run. So I feel like that was his, Juwan Briggs, Harrison Phillips type moment, was bringing in those guys. Now they're under contract for a little bit. So again, shrewd moves. Boss Girl said, "Oh, so everything negative is AG and everything positive is Muji." Got it. I definitely did not say that whatsoever. But what I am saying is that Darren Muji, you've already seen him have to make moves. And like the comp that he gets back, the money that he's giving up, like these are all GM type situations. And, the previous GMs have had to make decisions like this, and they make the wrong decisions right now, it just feels like Muji has made the right, decisions. Has gotten fantastic comp back for these trades, and that's on the GM.
Fair enough. Let's get to a super chat here. DNY for life, aka Devin.
Wow.
Our Pop's favorite shitmate. Salah is a shit coach. We owe him an ass kicking, and again, we will have the opportunity to do so. And again, we don't know when this Titans game is going to be scheduled. We know it's on the road. That's all we know. But it could be week 1. It could be week 18. We have no idea. I would say if I'm predicting this on January 20th, I believe we're going to have some massive overreaction to this game one way or the other. Week 1, we played Aaron Rodgers, and I told Woody, I'm like, hey, man, I think the Jets can win this game, and they had their chances. They did not. But if they did or didn't, we were going to be like, yeah, suck it, Rodgers. We made the right choice. AG's the man. And if it went the other way, Aaron Rodgers gets his last laugh, and he's, giving the Hulkster, oh, let me lean over here. Let me lean over here. He's just walking off the field and catch a lot of crap. And the Jets were going to catch a lot of heat, and they did. And then Aaron Rodgers makes the playoffs and catch even more heat and everything else. If AG loses to Salah, and I know there's a lot of factors that go into games, AG is going to get immense amounts of shit, whether or not it's fair or unfair. That is 1,000% going to happen. If AG beats Salah, we flex and say, hey, there you go, Salah, you bastard. But if Salah beats AG, woo-wee, the guy we fired and then eventually replaced with AG, there's going to be a lot of shit thrown out there in the universe. So, hey, Devin, we'll see if the Jets are able to dunk on old Salah. I do think that there is a lot of rose petals being thrown at Salah's feet now in the streets. Like, oh, wow, what a crazy, great head coaching candidate. And we'll see. His first run with the Jets was a disaster, and a lot of that blood is on his hands. And it's interesting how it's being perceived in the social media streets. So we'll see. I'll tell you this. I'm rooting for Salah. I like Salah. Again, I'm competitive, so I want to kick Salah's ass when the Jets and Titans play, of course. But I like Salah a lot. I like his family. I like the cut of his jib. I liked him at press conferences. There was a lot of things that I liked about Salah. And it sucks it didn't work out. I'm rooting for him for the best. So 16 of 17 games next season, go 16-1, Salah. But you going 0-1 against us. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, yeah, that's a Jets L.
You don't even know who the quarterback is. How are you already saying it's an L? It's like the same thing you did last year with Rodgers and the May schedule prediction.
And how did that go? Who was correct?
Well, I don't remember that, but
I think you do.
I don't want to, actually. Thanks.
Yep, but you do. That's the point. So yeah, unfortunately, it's an L. That's what I mean. Karma. It's a powerful thing. You do bad things to good people, then they come around. And how would I react? I mean, I'm probably just counting money in my FanDuel account. You know what I'm saying? That's
oh, damn. Are you going to get another bad shot bet going on?
Well, I said FanDuel, so
I know, but I'm just saying in general, we're talking about bets.
If he wants to lose money again, then yeah, of course he can do that.
All right, we'll see what happens out there in the universe. So, Woody, how did it feel to dress up as a professor for a couple weeks?
Oh, look at us! It was cool, but now we're back in the real world.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to be said. A big offseason to come. We still don't know who the hell is going to be the next DC of the Jets. That could go to the end of the month. We could find that out this week. The in-person interviews are taking place. So, yeah, we will have plenty of content, Woody. There's no question.
Absolutely. So you do not want to miss us. All right. We will be here. And, rocking with us. We'll be here on Thursday at 3.
Folks, God bless. Thanks for all the love in the chat. Thank you for the super chat, Devin, aka DIY for life. You got yourself another raffle ticket for a contest, 12 raffle tickets. And again, folks, on the way out, make sure you guys show the love. First off, I'll do a shameless promotion for myself. This morning, we surpassed over 8,300 subscribers on the Boy Green YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone out there in the audience. That's such another cool milestone to get over. And now I'm looking for 8310, then 8320. We just keep chipping all the way to the season. And make sure you show your love for my guy, Woody. Wudi Wudi or Wudi Woohoo. Subscribe now, youtube.com/@TakeFlightTalk.
Yes, absolutely. Show some love. Diapers ain't cheap.
God bless. Folks, thanks for checking in with us. We'll be back on tomorrow morning for another episode of Boy Green Daily at 7:30 and Boy Green Wudi, that show, Thursday, 3 o'clock. We'll see you then, everybody. Peace and take care. Wudi, God bless, pal.
God bless.